Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Football Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. Tim Ham, IndyCar Tim, is joining me here this morning. There he is, looking good in the DSP Media Studio in Dallas. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well, recovering from another Thursday night football legendary instant classic.
Man, remember when Thursday football was really bad? Really bad?
Like
that
just a
thing
couple
last
weeks ago.
night. Oh, I know, right? But this, man, that was spectacular last night. Watching Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow go at it. I'll take about 500 of those if you can serve them up to me. That was just fantastic football to watch. And of course,
Insane.
And of course, they screw it up at the end with horrible non-calls. When are we
Oh
gonna
my
get
gosh! Right, poor
when are
Bengals
we
fans
gonna get
this morning.
past this? Yeah, I mean, I want to sit here and celebrate this game and talk about Lamar Jackson and talk about Jamar Chase getting me 58 points to lead the week on fantasy football. I want to gloat on that for a little bit. He had 3 touchdowns last night, 248 yards, 11 receptions. I mean, just incredible. That's the thing about Jamar Chase. Everybody knows that's where the ball's going. They still can't stop him. The two of those guys, you just can't stop them. Field's too big. You can't cover him.
No.
It's insane. Yeah, so if you missed this game last night, it comes down to a 2-point conversion, interestingly enough. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, there you go. We got our wish.
Yeah, so before we get into all that, let's set up the show. Jeff Dedoff's going to join us at the top of the hour, 11 o'clock, and we'll hit some fantasy football and some betting. We'll have our picks for you today. We got lots to get to. Obviously, we touched a little bit on it yesterday because it came down during the show. The Gators announcement that Sunbelt Billy will be back. So we'll talk a little bit about that. By the way, Scott Carter could not join us this morning from FloridaGators.com because he's already on his way to Austin with the team. But I think we can handle this one. I
could have given him some pointers on where to hang out and where not to hang out down on 6th Street, by the way.
Is there a place you don't hang out? It's pretty.
Oh, there's some spots you don't want to hit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But it's all. I've been there once. It's beautiful. It's fantastic, and it's fun.
Yeah,
had a good time there.
It ain't no College Station, but it's okay.
Oh, there we go. That's true. We could get into the whole difference between Texas A&M and Texas, the two places. I think it's very similar to FSU in Florida.
Probably.
Yeah. Like Gainesville, the University of Florida is the older one. And I don't know, A&M might be older. I don't know. But, Florida's always been, the more the University of Florida, as they like to call it. And FSU, kind of the up and coming, the upstart. And we like it that way. We absolutely like it that way. I'm sure you do too. Anyway, so we'll get into Gators at Texas. And, of course, a huge game for the Buccaneers and 49ers. And the Lightning, they were bad last night.
Rough one last night.
They were bad last night. First game home off a long roadie. That's usually not a great recipe for good energy. And they had no energy last night. They were flat as a pancake. That was not good. And now they got a week to stew about it. They had a whole week off at home to stew about it. And I'm sure, John Cooper will have plenty for them in practice. I can assure you with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into all that stuff. So away we go. Thank you guys for joining us as you always do this morning. I see the comments already lighting up. Don't forget, you can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook, and you can jump in the comments there at the JP Peterson Show. Just Google us, and you'll know exactly where you can jump in and comment, because we love you guys being part of the show. All right. I guess I want to start there with the Billy Napier. I think this is a huge story on so many levels. And it's kind of a weird story too, because yesterday when this was announced, I happened to, run into a couple of my Gator friends, and, most of them, by the way, this Gator report brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. Most of them, including Scott Jeeves, are like, they can't take it. And here's the thing: when you've had Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer have had so much success here. Even when you start looking at the records of McElwain, who was 22-12. Dan Mullen, 34-15, went to a couple of SEC championship games. Will Muschamp, the often maligned Will Muschamp, was 28-21. Ron Zook, the Zooker.
Kind of forgot about Ron Zook.
Yeah, the old Zucker, many consider one of the worst coaches in Florida history. Was 23-14. And Billy Napier sits at 15-18. And yet I can say that he does not deserve to get fired, I think. And I think the university is doing the right thing. But also, what's interesting is the fan base is in complete uproar. They don't get it. They don't like it. And it's because of those records that I just read off. Right. And you shouldn't be able to survive at a place like Florida with a record like that. But there are extenuating circumstances. And I think that's why Scott Strickland did what he did yesterday. And first and foremost, it's about recruiting, because everybody in the SEC and everywhere else that's recruiting against the Gators will say, listen, you don't even know who you're going to play for. How could you go to Florida? And it's tough to build a recruiting class with that hanging over your head.
Yeah.
And this last month, there's going to be a lot of back and forth and, a lot of commits that are getting hit on by other teams. And this negative recruiting is a big thing. And Scott Strickland had to shut that down. He had to shut that down and tell everybody, hey, this is our guy for the foreseeable future. Like it or not, fan base, you got to do it. And he has $25 million left on his deal in terms of a buyout. And just like Mike Norvell, those are probably the biggest factors in the reason that both of these guys are sticking around. Because obviously at FSU, 1-8, is it 1-8 or 1-9? I can't keep track. Is not good. Oh, it'll be 1-9 after they get spanked by Notre Dame.
Looking ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, projecting. So is that good enough? Hell no. Mike Norvell in any other situation would be fired. But, firing coaches time over and over and over again on the carousel does not work. That definitely does not work. And you can point to many instances where guys underperformed early on, but in the end, we're pretty damn good coaches. Maybe not winning national championships, but it takes time to grow. And this is the other factor I think that you really have to factor in is this is a brand new world that we're living in terms of college football. None of these coaches have any template or game plan, if you will, for how to win in this environment of transfer portal and NIL, especially when the goalposts and the rules are being changed on the daily. And no, it's hard. It's really, really hard. So, in years past when, Florida and Florida State and all these major programs had such a huge advantage baked in. Seriously baked in. That's why you see records like that for a Muschamp. Yeah. Or some of these others. They're not great coaches, but they had superior talent 75 to 80% of the time they go out there on the field, and you're going to win games. But they never, stood up to Georgia. They didn't stand up to LSU. They didn't stand up to some of the better teams and their rivals, Florida State, Miami, etc. Not just Florida. I'm talking about, Florida State as well. When coaches get fired, it's usually because they can't get over the top, right? And of course, Billy Napier hasn't even come close. But I think Scott Strickland rightfully saw that this is just a different landscape. It's just a different landscape, and we've got to try to find our way. But the one thing I know we can't do is waste another $25 million plus staff, which is probably closer to $35 million now when you're looking at all those buyouts. And you got to find money for the new guy. And if it's going to be Lane Kiffin, which has been rumored, that's a boatload of cash you got to come up with. And this money just doesn't grow on trees. It's not that easy, even for a place like Florida. So I think this is a new world in college football where fan bases are going to have to kind of readjust their expectations and understand that now, 1-9 at Florida State is probably, way too much to handle. But that
by any metric,
any metric. That's just a full-on disaster. But I think these with Michigan and other great teams they're not going to Washington, they're not going to follow not going to be 13-0, 12-1, 10-2, 13. It's not going to be like that anymore. There's too much parity. And so there are going to be seasons. And plus, you have to factor in Florida's schedule. I mean, folks, it's just as simple as this. If Florida plays any other schedule, he's probably getting 8-9 wins with this team. Am I wrong? And then are you firing him then? So Scott Strickland's the AD. He, in essence, makes the schedule, although it's done years and years in advance. And plus, you have your conference schedule. In the SEC, it just means more. It's an absolute gauntlet what Florida has. And I said this last year. I said, don't just say if Billy Napier doesn't get to a bowl, he's fired. You got to see how it plays out. Are they competitive at Tennessee? Yeah, they should have won the game. Are they competitive with Georgia? Heck, yeah. If their quarterback stays healthy, they might win the game. Georgia may be the best team in college football. So if you can go, and that stuff matters. The optics matter. Okay? I mean, look, the optics at Florida State they can't compete with anybody. They can't compete with anybody in Division I. That's just god awful. But $62 million buyout's going to keep you there. And the fact that you're Mike Norvell, you won 19 games in a row. There might be some flukiness to that. It might have been all Jordan Travis, but the fact of the matter is you did it. And you took a program that was moribund and trashed and brought it to the brink of a playoff and probably should have had that playoff. So you can't fire Mike Norvell just on this season. I know it sounds crazy, but you just can't. You got to give him a chance to rebuild it. You got to give Billy Napier a chance to see this through. And I think it was the right move by Scott Strickland, although I don't think I've ever seen a fan base more up in arms about something like this. The reaction was
it did not go over well.
It did not go over well. It did not go over well. If
Do
it
you
was
think he was
intended to calm the fan base, no, mission not accomplished.
Do you think he was expecting a positive reaction? Or did he have any expectation at all for any backlash on this? And I mean, I guess the reason for him doing it is because clearly he heard all of the negativity, right? He heard
exactly
from wherever it was on social media, from his own people, from wherever he heard.
Oh, trust me, your inbox and text messages are full with everybody who you asked to write those big checks.
Yeah, so he was like, let's squash this right now.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's some support of Napier. I'm sure there are some people on the Gator boosters, the Bull Gators that are more reasonable and understand this is a new atmosphere and landscape in college football and the situation that they're in right now. So I think, but the vast majority of the ham and eggers, the ground troops are not, they look at Georgia. They look at Alabama. They look at everybody in the SEC and they say, why can't we be that? We were that one time. It must be the coach. And listen, I'm not here to tell you Billy Napier has done everything right. He hasn't. Some of the things that have happened on the field, the lack of having the right number of people in a special teams situation, crucial, has happened so many times. Just ridiculous penalties. And just frankly, some bad game plans and bad game management. It's not been pretty. That's how you get to 15 and 18. I get that. But it's also, firing people comes with consequences, and most of them financial. So I think in some way with Scott Strickland, if he had, endless amounts of money, like to fire him and go get Lane Kiffin and just, pay all the assistants, $3-4 million and get the bet. Yeah, he would. But it doesn't work that way. And even when you spend the money, there's no absolute guarantee of return at all in college football. So you got to weigh all these things. And I think Scott Strickland did the right thing. Listen, their schedule next year isn't much easier. And so, if you're thinking, well, I'll bring in a new guy, because he's going to get the same welcome gauntlet, So I think maybe it's more of like, hey, let's spend another year, see what he can do, keep building the program, keep, recruiting. And this is going to help recruiting. I think it should help recruiting, although, the fan backlash doesn't help. It doesn't help, but I understand it. It's natural. I get it. But I just think it's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen, something like this met with such absolute disrespect.
I mean, it's almost a disaster. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. It could affect his job, right? I mean, at some point.
Of course. Read some of the comments on Twitter. Strickland, you're an idiot. You're the one who,
this is all your fault.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you look at the numbers and where this athletic department has gone under his leadership, not good. No. Not good. So
a couple of things on this from my vantage point. Number one, this is more of a broad brush for all of college football. Any fans over the age of probably 28, 30 years old, y'all have to, or we have to readjust our thinking of college football. This is not our college football from 10 years ago and the last 150 years before that. This is a new era of college football. NIL has changed everything. Coaches' salaries are out of control. It has changed everything.
Yes.
And it affects recruiting. You can't just recruit a guy for 4 years in high school or 6 years going to middle school, sign him on signing day, and be done with it. You have to recruit him almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And definitely on a yearly basis.
You see guys like Mike Norvell making personnel decisions on the field because of it.
Yes.
I mean,
his quarterback play.
Yeah. But
based
even
on NIL.
He's trying to rotate in 6 running backs to keep everybody happy. So it's like it's a battle to keep your roster together and win games when you can't get any continuity going like that. It's tough. So, and I think also maybe it's kind of like for these athletic directors who have to balance the budget, right? It's just not an endless supply of cash, even at Texas A&M.
Right.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But and I think some of these athletic directors are like, okay, just hold on until we get major reform, which will probably come in the next 2 or 3 years when the TV contracts have to be renegotiated and everything will be probably blown up. Like Michael Kelly told us the other day, without telling us, and no one is more plugged in than Michael Kelly. And I think he has a really good feel for where this is going. And he talked about, is it going to be a P2? Is it going to be a P4? Whatever it is, it's going to be major realignment, major rule changing, major fiduciary changes going on in this sport. And I think right now, athletic directors are like, okay, I'm not going to overextend myself financially when I have no idea what the landscape's going to be in the future. You know what I'm saying? It's like just sit in the bunker, keep your head down, wait till everything blows over. Just try to keep moving forward, as best you can. Now, of course, he's going through the same thing that Florida State's going through, and Mike Alford, their AD. You're doing these major capital improvements at the stadium. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's another, and like they're trying to sell, $4 million suites at FSU at 1 and 9. When I was up there this weekend at Tallahassee, I'm speaking to my good friends, Greg and Shelley Nelson. They are longtime season ticket holders. And, they were brought in for the meeting where they show them all the shiny, the bells and whistles and shiny toys, and then say, yeah, it's going to take $4 million in endowment or upfront, to the boosters or whatever it is. Right. It's some ridiculous amounts for like this. There's like 17 permanent suites or something. So those numbers are just through the roof. And the word is they're selling. But there's a lot of, in the thousands of premium packages that are more like, 15,000 down, 20,000 down. It's a lot of money. It's a ton of money for a lot of people that aren't, mega rich. So, they're trying to sell these things while, a football team is just absolutely disastrous. So I have a lot of compassion for these athletic directors and coaches and everyone in college football. Although they brought this on themselves. We've talked about that many times, their lack of leadership and greed. So, but it is what it is. And I think this is all residue of it. So if you're a Florida Gator fan today, or you're like James, who just comes on here every day and says, you got to fire Mike Norvell, you can't do it, man. It's too much money. It's too much money. And and plus you don't even know if it's a guarantee it's going to fix it. Who are you going to get? Are they going to be any better? And are they going to be better suited to clean up this mess? Or do you keep the head coach and fire a bunch of underlings, which is going to happen at Florida State, and fix it that way? That's come on, it's common sense. It's the only thing you can do.
That was my part 2 of this was, and this is a discussion maybe for another day. I don't know why everyone's so high on Lane Kiffin coming to town and fixing things.
Oh, everybody, he's like the backup
why?
quarterback, you know?
Well, exactly. You could mention any name, right? Like whoever could come into town and fix, maybe except for Jimbo.
The name is, here's the most important thing about the name. It's not Billy Napier.
Right. But look, Lane Kiffin's done a fine job at Ole Miss. All right. Expectations are not at Ole Miss what they are at Florida. If Lane Kiffin was the coach at Florida and he was going through the same crap that Napier's going through with personnel, with decisions coming from the top, with his quarterback situation, who's to say that he'd been any better? I'm not a big Kiffin. I'm not a big fan of Kiffin at all. Yeah. Again, he's done a fine job at Ole Miss. I can't wait for him to move on.
What has he ever won?
And watch him. He's won nothing
as a head coach.
In all his stops, right?
Yeah. What has he ever won?
So I don't get the love for Lane Kiffin other than the fact that it's not.
I love Lane Kiffin. Let me make that clear because
I know you do. I don't care about him personally. I'm not talking about him personally. I'm just saying from a professional standpoint.
No, listen, I think he's a great coach. I think he's innovative. He's had an interesting journey along the way, and I think he's a really good football coach.
He's got the bloodlines, right?
And I think he would win anywhere he goes, and he does win everywhere he goes. He wins. And it's not. I don't think it's easy to win at Ole Miss the way he's winning. So do I think he could win a national championship at Florida? Yes, I do.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely, right. I do. Urban Meyer did. Whatever you think of Urban Meyer as a human being, which I don't think much of him as a human being, he was a really good coach. He was a really good coach. He got the job done. I think Lane in the right situation can get it done. I think it'd be easier to recruit at Florida. I think if Lane got the job at Alabama, he could win a national championship there. I just think there are different places. And, he's still evolving as a coach and maturing.
He is. He's still young.
Yeah. Still, relatively young. So, but this is more about the two, state programs here.
Sure.
Florida State, where their coaching situations are just really, really interesting. And the volatility of this thing is new. It's never been this way. You've never seen teams take dips like this. And it's because of the portal. It's because of the NIL. It's just different. So I think right now, as fans, temper your expectations. Do what I did. Go to Tallahassee, see your friends, have a great time, enjoy the atmosphere of college football because that never changed. You can't lose a tailgate party, right?
Nope. You can never lose a tailgate party.
You can't lose a tailgate party.
How do you lose a tailgate party?
You're undefeated. You don't. Right. We're undefeated. So enjoy yourself. And if you have to leave at halftime because of the stench, then do so. Go back to the tailgate party where you're undefeated.
Hey, if you like parody in college football, this is your era.
Party. Yeah.
This is your time.
And I think that's good.
I do too.
I want to see an Indiana, come. And now we have kind of the glass slipper in football that we had in basketball for so many years. Is Indiana that team? Who's going to be that team now? That the UCF of 2017 would get into playoff and beat Auburn, and everybody go. And who knows how far they go? Who knows? Maybe someday we will have one of these teams come out of nowhere and be a national champion. It's going to be tough. TCU almost did it. Yeah. They almost did it in the portal era. So who knows? And I think it's great for college football. Now, if we can just get some rules and some guardrails, I think college football could be better than ever. Mm-hmm. If you blow this thing up, which I think it needs to be blown up, and you turn it into basically an NFL financial model, as much as we all, yearn for the nostalgic days of scholarship teams and teams that play for the love of the game. And, sorry, it's over. It's like many things we loved before. It's gone. But you can still have the emotion of it, the tradition of it, renewals of the rivalries. That's what college football is all about. Yep. And whether the players are being paid or not, yes, it does have a little residue. There's no question about it. But just, overlook it. It's the way of the world, and enjoy your college football because I think it's going to be much more volatile from here on in. And I think you're going to see, as Michael Kelly kind of hinted at, probably a P2 Two major conferences, Big Ten, SEC, made up of anywhere from 60 to 80 teams, I think, at the outset, at the outside. And who are those teams going to be? Right. Right now there's 132 teams playing Division I college football, I believe. There's a definite delineation probably in there somewhere. I don't know where the line is. Hell, maybe you can have some relegation type things where teams can move up and down from divisions and into conferences. Like that would be an interesting part of the whole deal. So if you're on the outside looking in, maybe you play your way in at some point. That could be fun. But I think USF is well positioned to be in that upper tier. Especially if they can have a nice season here, get to 7 wins, get another bowl win, they're in position because everything off the field, they check the boxes. Big markets, stadium now coming to fruition. The groundbreaking will be today at 3:30 at USF. So I think they're in great position, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I think it's going to be, once this all works out, USF will have a much better chance. Where this current system, I don't think USF would ever be able to rise to be to the level of an Alabama or a Georgia. It's just different, right? And I think in a new system that's much more kind of NFL from a financial standpoint, where there's going to be a much more even playing field financially for all of these teams in the top tier, I think they'll have a better shot because it's basically going to be winning you're in. They can't vote you out like Florida State. You just win, you're in. And if you keep winning, you wear the crown. So, I think it's more likely. Is it likely? Who knows? With a level playing field, anybody can win.
Yep.
So Gator fans, I understand the frustration. Florida State fans, I understand the frustration. Trust me. But I think you got to readjust your expectations. It's a whole new world of college football. And I think this is going to be more about, financial health of these universities and not, paying crazy buyout. I don't know, Tim, has there been any fallout from the, the Jimbo Fisher buyout? I mean, Texas A&M just has so much money and they pay these things on a yearly basis.
Nobody remembers Jimbo Fisher even coached the Aggies right now. I mean, part of that's because Mike Elko is winning. Right. I mean, that helps, right? But, dude, nobody discusses Jimbo Fisher. His name doesn't come up unless it's in some sort of comparison to how much better Mike Elko is doing than Jimbo Fisher was. And it usually comes to culture. Culture was a big thing here, that the players that stayed, because we lost a bunch in the portal when Jimbo left. The ones that stayed, Elko wasn't even here for 6 weeks, and everybody was like, I feel like I'm in a different place. Yeah. The culture here has already changed that fast for the better. So nobody remembers Jimbo was here. And it's okay.
Yeah. And the financial, there are no financial implications. You're just emboldening our friend James over here, who's going to be like, see, Texas A&M doesn't miss the money. And that's different. I think
they also have more money than
situation.
They also have more money than any other program in college football.
Like, how many billionaire boosters do they have? With just oil money everywhere. Do you even know the number?
All of them?
All of
no, I don't know the number.
Are there 4? Are there 12?
Oh, no. It's I bet it's between 10 and 20.
Good God. I mean, I don't know if FSU has one or maybe one billionaire, the Spanx girl. I don't know. That's about it. So that matters. That matters. You get one rich dude that wants to write a check and get rid of Mike Norvell and write another check to bring in whomever. I mean, would I like FSU to fire Mike Norvell and bring in Lane Kiffin? Yeah, I would. I think it would give some lifeblood to the program. Absolutely. Right. And we do it before Florida does. Now, is that going to ensure success? I don't know. But I think, what I've seen from Norvell is scary. But the good stuff is intriguing. But, to this day, and I'm kind of dismissing everything I just said, but that's if I had a blank check. The FSU doesn't have that. They don't. There are financial realities that you just can't ignore. And James is right when he says, look, you can't afford to keep him around and do another 1-10 season. And he's right in that regard, because again, you're selling a lot of these suites and selling all these things at this particular time. You got the lawsuit going on as well. Yeah. You don't know what conference you're going to play in.
And it hurts recruiting.
It hurts recruiting, absolutely, which is just, putting gas on the fire. So,
and I will tell you this, that $72 million buyout for Jimbo at A&M, you had, number one, that was money not missed by anybody. That it might as well have been $20 because you had guys lining up. The line formed to the left outside of the administration building. Let me write the check. Let me write the check. No, I'll write the check. I'll split it with you. No, I got it. It's like guys at dinner trying to pay the tab, right? Like, no, I got you, man. It's all me. I got it. They didn't even blink.
That's gross, by the way. The wealth gap in this country is just disgusting. That's gross. One person should have that much money while so many people struggle, but that's a whole other. It's all right. Trump's going to fix that.
That's right.
Trump's going to fix that. So he said that walking out last night at the stadium, like, God, it's so hot in November. It's awful. It's like walking out into hot soup, record temperatures yesterday. Oh, global warming. I'm like, Trump fixed that. Don't worry.
Trump will fix that too. Just give him 6 weeks.
Hilarious. But listen, it's just different right now, and I hope fans understand that. And will Billy Napier be the one that wins the next national championship at Florida? Doubtful. But at this moment, to keep recruiting and moving forward, that's probably the best move Scott Strickland can make.
Yeah.
But by the end of the year, he may be fired too. Who knows?
He may not be there either. Yeah.
By the way, remember this: that letter is about as binding as that promise Tim made, to me to buy dinner next time. It's not there's nothing is written in stone. So I think, and listen, if he gets boat raced in these next 3 games and then loses to FSU, Billy Napier's fired.
That's why they call it the dreaded vote of confidence, right?
Yeah, screw the letter. Letter looks nice on the letterhead and everything, but it's still just, it's interesting because normally the AD just comes out and does an interview and does a vote of confidence. This time it was a letter. It was a letter. It was hand signed. Did you see it signed by Scott? It's signed. So that means something. No, it means nothing. It means absolutely. You know what? The only thing that means anything is something signed that says contract extension. That means something.
That everything else, anything either.
Yeah.
Don't fire him. You just got to pay him more.
Well, exactly. It means at least you got some financial security. That's all that means. All right, let's take our first break, and when we come back, Bucs Rays Bolts is all over. We got to talk about this.
Yes.
I just kind of laughed this off, the last couple days, but now there's some smoke around the Bucs and Bill Belichick. Very interesting. So we'll hit that when we come back. We got the Lightning to talk about. We got our NFL picks to talk about. We got fantasy to talk about. Thank you, Jamar Chase, last night. Get me going. All kinds of fun stuff. And bring whatever you guys want to bring into the comment section, and we'll talk about that as well. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. This Gator Report brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have any legal questions whatsoever, go to their website, contact them through their email, phone call, whatever. They will let you know what they can do, how they can help you with a free case evaluation. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. If you're in an accident, you've got to call Jeeves, JEEVESlawgroup.com. Back at 3. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to a Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. Thank you so much for joining us here as we give you 2 hours of Tampa Bay sports-centric talk each and every day. And my good friend Tim Ham, IndyCar Tim, is with me this morning. I'm going to give you some football picks, see how we did last week in our little contest that we have going. What was the wager, by the way, Tim? Do we remember? Was it dinner?
I think it was just dinner over at Cafe Paradiso, of course.
Oh, well, then we can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that lasagna is so good. I can still and I just kept eating it, and it was a lot there.
I was full and I couldn't stop eating.
I couldn't either. I'm like, I'm gonna go.
And that wine, that Barbera, I can't remember the rest of it. It was a Barbera branded wine. Nice, really smooth, kind of sweet, semi-sweet red wine.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I told you I got some now. I got 3 bottles at home now.
I've never been much of a wine drinker, but I could see myself having a few glasses of that, just sitting at home. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was
all
good.
right. So thanks to our good friends at Cafe Paradiso for that incredible meal. You can do the same. Head on down there, get a reservation today and tonight, and go see my good friend Paolini. And have the branzino, which is a sea bass. I just love that spot. It's my favorite spot of all time. I got to get him to do it. I keep telling him, listen, man, we got to get you on the show because he's a huge sports fan. Huge sports fan. And he talks like that, too, about the Bucs.
Oh, that's great.
So Bill Belichick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At first, we just kind of sloughed it off. But Mike Florio and Joe Bucs fan wrote stories this week about it because Belichick was so effusive in his praise of Jason Light during his appearance on the Manning Cast on the Monday.
They have a history together. I mean, it's not like they don't know each other. Light was in New England, so. And
I'm not a huge Florio fan because I think he just comes up with some crazy stuff. But this, I think, has some legs. And what he wrote, I think, is very true. He said, Bill Belichick is strategic about everything. He was strategic as a coach. He was strategic in accepting media gigs. He's strategic in what he says on those platforms. In a nutshell, Florio writes, Belichick spends his time settling scores and advancing his agenda. So true. And his recent Manningcast comments from the Buccaneers-Chiefs game have prompted speculation in some circles that he has an eye on the Tampa Bay job. Quote from Belichick, Jason did a great job for me. He's a really great evaluator, a really smart guy. He's done a great job putting the Bucs together. And then, in 22-23, they were kind of down a bit. It looked like they were rebuilding, but he got Mayfield and a lot of young players in there. Here they are playing really competitively again. So he's done a tremendous job. I really enjoy Jason. He's a great guy to be around. He really done a great job with that franchise. Whew. If I'm Todd Bowles, I don't like reading that, especially with the recent history around here.
So Bill Belichick has now been linked, like hard linked, not just rumored, hard linked to two teams in the NFL for next season.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucs and the Cowboys.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
If you're Bill Belichick,
you're in Dallas, I'm in Tampa Bay. Okay.
If you're Bill Belichick and you want your next stop, all right, and it's probably going to be your last, right? It's going to be your last dip in the NFL coaching pool.
It's going to be 73 in April.
So I'm looking at all things here, both teams. Yes, I'm very good friends with Jerry Jones. That's well documented. But you know what? This isn't a job to make friends. This is a job to go do your job and to win games and win titles, right? That's what Belichick is about. If I'm looking at the Cowboys and I'm looking at the Bucs, and both teams now, it's widely understood, recognized, whatever, that the coaching positions will be available, barring a miracle for both sides, right?
Given the last few weeks for Todd Bowles, yes.
Sure. So
sure would love to have Bill weigh in on the 2-point conversion beforehand. I don't know if he did, but anyway.
So all of those things being equal, the positions will be available, blah, blah, blah. If I'm trying to decide between Dallas and Tampa Bay, I want to go somewhere where I think I can be the most successful, right? Yes, Dallas has the history.
And quickly.
Yeah, and a quick turnaround, right?
Because you're 23 short of Don Shula, I believe.
Right. So if I'm going to a new team and I recognize that now this is all contingent upon Bill Belichick recognizing his biggest weakness recently in his coaching job, and that is personnel. That's talent evaluation. That is the draft, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to pick my new job, I'm going to do it at the place where I have to worry about that the least. So am I going to go to Dallas where Jerry Jones, Will McClay, Stephen Jones don't have the greatest track record in the last couple of years of evaluating talent and drafting guys, and definitely don't ever dip their toes in the pool of free agency?
Right.
Or am I going to go to Tampa Bay where I have my buddy Jason Light, who I've already worked with, that I know very, very well, have the deepest respect for professionally and personally, and no doubt, where I don't have to worry about that stuff. All I have to do is coach. I'll give him my 2 cents on guys, on who I think, who I like, but he's the one making the decisions, and it's his job. Oh, and by the way, all he does is freaking draft Hall of Famers.
Right.
I'm sorry, Bill. How is that even a decision if it comes down to it? You're going to Tampa. You're not going to Dallas.
And let's be honest, he's not going to be blinded by the star. Bill Belichick is not going to be, I get the Cowboys job. No. Bill Belichick is centered on his legacy, and that's overtaking Don Shula. And to do that at his age, he's got to go to a team that's ready to win and is not encumbered with huge, disastrous salary cap issues. I mean, just Dak's presence alone in that contract and his lack of health at this age, and as players get older, they don't get healthier. It's like it's a no-brainer, really. And I agree with you. And also during the, as Florio writes, throw in the fact that Belichick spent time grumbling about the Tampa Bay defensive performance. And it's possible that Belichick's interested in coaching the Bucs next year, or more generally, that he's hoping to maximize his options in order to generate the most possible leverage. Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Dallas, where else, the more the merrier for Belichick. Yeah, create demand, which there was not at the end of last year. And I think this, to your point, I think Bill came from, when he left New England, he was like, well, I could have my pick of spots. And I think some of us thought the same too, right? Yeah. I mean, although I I think the game has kind of passed him by. We shouldn't change our thoughts on Belichick based on him, being such an affable, wonderful media member now, and then he's likable. The fact of the matter is those last 3 years post Brady, 3-4 years, were dreadful. But I also think he went into every interview saying, well, I'm going to do all personnel too. So I need to be in charge of everything. So if you don't really want that, then I'm not interested in the job. Sorry, Arthur. I mean, because he's Bill Belichick. He's the greatest coach of all time. He can go in there and demand that, or so he thought. And I think he found out that owners weren't comfortable with that. And I think rightfully so. So to your point, does he now pivot and say, okay, I got to humble myself a little bit here. I can't be going in making demands like this. I've got to go in there and say, all right, I don't have to have control of personnel. I'm fine with that. And where better to go than someplace that you can trust the guy you've already worked with, right? Any other place, they may have great reputations as GMs, but you've not worked with them. And if you're Bill Belichick, there's certain things that he will tolerate and won't. Mm-hmm. And he already knows how Jason Light works and how his team works. He's seen the fruits of their labors. He sees the roster in front of him, what he has to work with. And I think he says, we're in good shape here. I can win here. I can get to maybe get to this record in 2 years. I could get there in 2, maybe it might take me 3, but I can do it here. So, and for the Bucs right now, if you're the Glazers, and I don't think there's any question right now that Todd Bowles has established what his ceiling is, and it's winning one playoff game. I don't think there's a scenario,
500 in the regular season, by the way.
And 500 in the regular season in the division that has been dreadful. Okay. You can sit here and say all you want that he's gone to the playoffs and blah, blah, blah. Yes, he has, and the team plays hard for him. I get that. But the game management it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And head coaches have to give you plus wins, not be minus wins from your roster, right? The definition of having a good coach is somebody who's going to take a roster that might be 8-8 and make it, a 10-win team or an 11-win team. Can't take an 8-8 roster and win 3 games. Can't take a 12-win roster and win 8 or 9 consistently. You can't do that. You can't lose games because of your constant bad decisions. The fake field goal, disastrous, cost you the game. 2-point conversion, Godwin, Evans injuries, lack of usage on timeouts. Just time and time again, not managing the game the way one should. And I think the writing's on the wall. Save a NFC Championship game performance, which I don't see this team getting there with the flaws that it has right now on defense. I just don't see it. I think it's inevitable that Todd will probably be fired at the end of the season. So you're going to be looking for a coach. Where do you go? Does this Bill Belichick thing fit here? I mean, do I think he's a better coach than Todd Bowles? Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Do I think, and remember when I said Belichick, I would not hire him, it's because he wanted to do everything. And I don't think he should be trusted with that. So if you're telling me, okay, Jason Light's going to handle all personnel and Bill's just going to, and here's another point, another caveat if I'm the Glazers. Liam Cohen is your offense coordinator. Don't touch it. I don't know if Bill's going to go for that. I don't know if he's going to go for that. And I don't know if Liam's going to go for that. He'll have other opportunities as well. So if I'm gaining Bill Belichick but losing Liam Cohen, I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. So if I'm Jason Light, I'm like, all right, I'm handling personnel, you're handling defense and coaching on game day, and you're going to work with Liam Cohen and be as hands-off as you can on the offense. Let him run his offense. Do you think Belichick's going to go for that when he may have other opportunities in Jacksonville, maybe Philadelphia, obviously Dallas? Is that something he's going to accept?
I think it boils down to how much he's going to humble himself. I think he has to have a clear picture of what he expects going into an interview or going into a new job. He has to know that it can't be what he had in New England. He has to know that by now. All right. He didn't get the Atlanta job because he wanted full control and they weren't Blank wasn't comfortable with that, and he made the right decision. I mean, I think we agree on that, right?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And Jerry's certainly not going to give up full control because he's Jerry. He didn't even do that with Parcells when he came here. They had an understanding. Not gonna do it. Yeah, getting my George Bush and Jerry Jones mixed up there.
They're very similar, by the way.
They are very similar.
Very, very similar.
One's left us already, and one's probably not far behind. Breaking news: Jerry's old. But so he's gonna have to humble himself to decide what role he wants to play and how bad he wants to coach.
Yeah.
But I still think he's having all the fun in the world as a broadcaster right now, but he still wants to coach.
Oh, he wants to coach. Yeah. He's totally angling for a coaching job right now. And I think Florio is 100% on the money with that. He is strategic. Everything he says has a reason. And that appearance was not by accident. And what he said was not by accident. So if Buck fans, I'm asking you, under those circumstances, that he is somewhat hands-off on the offense, okay, and Liam Cohen stays, Belichick comes in. Hell, you can even say, hey, Liam, you're the coach in waiting. When Bills gets the record, we're going to hand it over to you and pay him handsomely to do so. Would he stick around? I don't know. I'm okay with that, by the way. That worked for FSU. Jimbo Fisher won a national championship. So I think those situations can work for you. And Liam could learn a hell of a lot about head coaching from Bill Belichick and the culture that he would employ. Now, as a broadcaster, as a media member covering this team, it's the most awful thing that could possibly happen to you, because not only do you get on to Cincinnati, but he does it he requires that of his players as well. Cliches, don't say anything, don't do anything, just it's all business. That's no fun for us at all.
With that in mind, how do you think the relationship between Bill Belichick and Baker Mayfield would go?
See, this is I think Bucs raised this one. Bill also likes Baker Mayfield. He does. He has an affinity for Baker Mayfield. I think he's his type of quarterback. Yeah. He's gritty. He's a gamer, and he's having a hell of a year.
Yeah.
I heard he was on Joe Bucs Fan Ira's podcast where he said, I think Lee DeCamper mentioned this, that or maybe it was Steve, that of all the teams that have gotten to 10 wins, they've all gone to the playoffs. And for Bill Belichick, I think 10 wins would be, a layup with this roster.
Yeah.
So it makes too much, and he loves Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is on pace to hit 44 touchdowns this year. No quarterback has ever had that type of year, throw for 4,500 yards, and led the league in touchdowns, over 40 touchdowns, and not gone to the playoffs. So that's another indictment of Todd Bowles. As your defense is so bad, Baker Mayfield's going to be the first quarterback to do that, and that's not acceptable. Bill Belichick would, with this roster, do I think Bill Belichick, this team would have 3 more wins? I sure as hell do. If Bill Belichick was managing these games, they would have at least 2 more wins, in my opinion. I don't think he would have made the decisions that Bowles made. I think I don't. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And
you think he would have the 31st defense in the NFL with this roster?
Not with Belichick. No, and Belichick would make the hard cuts that Bowles won't. He'd bench guys that Bowles won't.
Right.
We've seen that.
I'm starting to like Bill a lot more. But again, I was anti-Bill full control.
Sure, and I would be too.
If I get the new humbled Bill that's willing to work with Jason Light and Liam Cohen, okay. Now I think we're getting somewhere. Now I think is that an improvement on Todd Bowles? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Nothing personal, Todd, but yes, he's won 6 Super Bowls. Okay. And I know most of that was Brady. I think we've proven that, but a little bit was his culture and how they do things. And his he's still a pretty good defensive coach. He still knows what he's doing.
Sure.
You take those other things away from him, I think you got a better recipe. I don't know who the other. I mean, and the other thing is, who else are you going to get? Lane Kiffin? Kidding. Who else are you going to get?
Doug Peterson might be available.
Yeah. You make Liam Cohen the head coach. Although a lot of people are saying that. Is he really ready for that? No. No, I don't think so. And I think Liam would be the first to tell you. Dave Canales was not ready for that. It's just it takes more seasoning.
That's the best local example you could have right there. Is Dave. Kudos to Dave for taking the job. I would have too.
Oh my God!
Doesn't mean it's the best job for you.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but someone dared put this in our comments.
Oh no! I mean, I'd
call John Gruden back.
I'd be okay with that.
Oh my God!
It's from a pure entertainment level. I'd be into that.
No. No.
Oh, good Lord.
No. This is a lot of baggage there. It's a lot of baggage.
Oh, there it is for sure. Yeah.
I've seen that up close and personal, and the Glazers have too, by the way. The Glazers,
that would never happen, by the way.
No, it's not happening. All right, let's take. So you guys fill up the comments. What are your thoughts on Bill on the non-full control Bill Belichick coming to Tampa Bay? I'd like to see what you guys think about.
Maybe throw your fantasy football questions in there too, because we got Tito next.
Tito's coming up with your fantasy football questions. I'm the king of fantasy football right now. I'm crushing my league. Jamar Chase, I love you. We are brought to you by Italiano Insurance. Folks, if you have any questions about homeowners insurance, maybe you're going through some stuff with your homeowners insurance company and you just need some information, call the great folks at Italiano. They'll help you out, even if you're not with them. They will ask you here we go. They will ask you if they can shop around your homeowners insurance and auto insurance. It's some others and earn your business with lower rates. That's not going to kill you, right? And they'll be able to help you out. So give them a call at 813-877-7799. If you don't have flood insurance, get your freaking flood insurance. Get it now before it goes through the roof. 813-877-7799. Back with Tito next. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Wow, look at that. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. I am the frog-throated IndyCar Tim this morning. We are talking Bucs. Belichick to the Bucs. Lightning faltering last night. Not a good showing by the boys. Coming home from the road trip. I got the full studio shot up there, don't I? Let's go ahead and bring in the most talented individual that I have ever encountered when it comes to fantasy football.
Oh.
Not you, JP.
Oh, I got it coming in late, and I just heard the wonderful words you were speaking, and I just assumed it was.
Well, I always speak those
me.
with you. I always speak with you. Let's bring in the great Tito Forte.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that guy. All right, wait a minute. I got to say something, Tito Forte. He has this great drop with he's in the building. Can you get that Oprah crap off my show? I don't ever want to hear her on my show, ever.
Well, it's more of a Tom Cruise homage than it is Oprah.
Sound of her voice. That time is over.
Yeah, you know what? Right now, I feel like I did when I was 9 years old and my parents would fight in front of me. Like, I'm not going to choose a side here. Can we just all get along?
Yeah. Who are you celebrating Christmas with, Tito? Me or JP?
Hey, look, my parents had so many different relationships and in-laws and crap. It's like I was Jewish. I had like 7 Christmases. It'd be like December 16th at Dad's
Hanukkah.
mom's, or whatever. That's all it was. It was all like 7 different Christmas celebrations.
Oh. That's a beautiful thing, though, isn't it? I mean, that's a beautiful
thing. Sure
it
was, yeah.
You know, I'm your favorite, right? I'm your favorite, though, right?
Of course, you're my favorite, Tim. Yes.
Just keep calling me Daddy, and we're good.
As always.
I don't know where this is going. Go back to the bathroom. I like going back in there. Holy hell. I don't know where this is going. Tito comes on, and all of a sudden, the show always goes to crap when you come
right
on.
In the toilet, right?
It really does. It really does. I've got a knack for that.
All right. Well, anyway, we haven't really talked about last night's game too much, which was maybe one of the most entertaining games I've ever seen. Thank God, because I got done with my post-game show, Lightning show, and we were watching the end of the football game, and I was like, holy hell. And then they ran through the highlights of the game, and I'm like, what have I missed watching this horrible 2-1 hockey game last night? Like, that was insane. And I've been riding Jamar Chase like secretariat on my fantasy team, Tito. In my league, I think we're half PPR in my league. Okay. So he only had 58.5 points last night for me. Right. What's the most points ever scored?
Oh, God, that's a great question.
Do you know the answer? 58.5 has got to be freaking close in a half PPR league.
Yeah, I would think that's got to be pretty close. I would think the yards that half PPR has got to be close. I know that Jerry Rice had like the 4 or 5 touchdown catch game against the Falcons way back when.
Right. But he had probably had 250 yards in that one as well.
Yeah, so maybe that also. Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. But it was a great game last night. Look, first of all, I'm glad I went heavy on the Bengals getting 6.5. I love that bet coming in. Yeah. And just because neither team can stop each other. I mean, it's the Bengals made the right choice going for 2 at the end. That's what the Baker should have done against the Chiefs.
Exactly.
We know that. So
yeah. Do you hear anybody yelling? By the way, do you hear anybody yelling today? Oh, you should have gone for 1. No.
Didn't hear a word about it. I think Chase Brown, if you were smart enough to grab him, he's somebody I tried to target in different leagues. If you didn't draft me, hopefully you grabbed him on waivers early in the season, because he looks like the kind of guy who could end up being a difference in the fantasy playoffs down the stretch. He's going to get a lot of work there. Zach Moss out for the season. I know they traded for Khalil Herbert, but it's a Chase Brown show over there. And the Ravens, receiver wise, it's never easy to figure out which Ravens receiver to start. Zay Flowers is the guy there for sure, though. Now Mark Andrews is back as well, but keep riding that Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson train as long as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into some. Go ahead, Timmy. Get into some of the fantasy questions.
Yeah. So my biggest thing here is I'm seeing a lot on the fantasy in the fantasy chatter about this being the absolute perfect possible matchup coming out of a bye week for Brock Purdy versus the Bucs defense. What are your thoughts on that?
It is, and it's perfect because you get Christian McCaffrey back. That's what makes it even better. The fact you get McCaffrey back in this situation, he's going to make a world of difference for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is a serviceable quarterback when you don't have McCaffrey. He's a really good quarterback when you do have McCaffrey. It makes a big difference there. So, yes, I agree. I think this sets up very nicely for San Francisco going against Tampa Bay. And although I do expect Mayfield to still have success like he did against the Chiefs, it's a great matchup for Purdy and the 49ers. I think McCaffrey has a big game too.
Great.
Yeah, I know. We think he's healthy, right? He's had a lot of different injuries, so. I have a little bit of hesitation if I'm going prop bets on McCaffrey, and I think the Bucs defense will hopefully. Yeah, Bowles has this history of when the defense is at its worst, coming up with a game plan or something like they did against Detroit. Go back, look at this defense right now, and go and say, "Oh my God, they held Detroit to." What was it? 10 points? 19
I think it was 10, wasn't it? Was
10?
It 10?
Yeah. They were 0 for 7 in the red zone for touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, this defense, which is 31st, that defense did that, but that was with Servassier Dennis, a backup linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a backup linebacker out and it makes that much difference. And they haven't figured it out since.
They really haven't. No, they have not been able to figure it out. And that's why, look, I think the 49ers, I'll take Shannon getting a week off too. You know what I mean? Coming back from that. I think I'll take him with a week to scheme for this is what I'd like for him. They're both great coaches for their specific roles. But I think that I'll give advantage Shanahan, McCaffrey in this one going in that game. But it'll be a fun game to watch, I think. And anybody, hopefully you held on to McCaffrey. But it's weird though, he was going to play week 1 up until game time.
I know, right.
And now it's week 10. And he's back.
How is that a thing? What happened there? Have we figured that out yet?
No, it's just I think the 49ers were not being completely transparent with the severity of the injury, and that's what it was. I'm surprised the NFL hasn't come down on them for that because he truly was. He was going to play, and it was like a game time decision. And then now the fact he's out this long, unless they can prove he had a setback somewhere, which I have not heard about a major setback. That would call usually if you're game time week 1 and they hold you out, we'll see you week 2.
We see
have
week
it go
2,
this
right.
long, yeah. And so there's got to be more to it. I don't know if the NFL's not pushing for it because they don't want to talk about it because I know other teams probably do the same thing. But this certainly is a bad look for the transparency of the 49ers.
And let's be honest, the NFL has an interest in they're not stupid. They know fantasy football is the lifeblood of the NFL, and gambling is the lifeblood of NFL, and they can't be messing around with situations like this. And this has been a bad year for the credibility of the league. Can we all weigh in on this right now? And we don't have to go any further than the last play of last night's game, in a 2-point conversion in a primetime football game with the biggest stars in your league. You have a 2-point conversion where the quarterback gets face raked, no call. The primary receiver, Gesicki, gets held by 2 players, no call. The actual receiver getting the ball thrown to gets hit early and dragged down and can't make the catch. 3 obvious calls on the play, no flags. How do you have a league credibility? How do you have credibility in a league when you see this on a week-to-week basis? Horribly obvious calls either not being made or made that are changing the outcomes of games. And the fact that these crews all have direct communication to New York. Well, JP, go ahead.
Go back recently. That face mask wasn't called the end zone. What was it? Was that the
Sam
Vikings,
Darnold,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Sam Darnold. And right. I thought after that one, which screwed me by the way in betting, but whatever. After that one, you would think they would be they would overcall it. They would be extra.
The week before, Bucky Irving, a non-call on Bucky Irving. That was, he's in a gaping three-yard hole.
Yeah,
and not in a crowd of people. The linebacker, in desperation, reaches his hand out to grab his face mask, his head twists, and he falls to the ground. And there's no call. How do you miss that? And Tristan Wirfs, the face mask that changed the game last week. I mean, and all these calls for the Chiefs. I mean. My God, at the end of games, it's ridiculous in the credibility of this league. You've been screwed by it and cost you money. I've been screwed by it. We've all been screwed by it. And if they're 50-50 calls, we don't have a problem with that. Guys miss things, but there's just way too much shenanigans going on right now. Way too much, in my opinion. I thought Tito was as anxiously listening to me, like with bated breath, but he actually was frozen.
No, he's gone, isn't he?
No, he's gone. I thought he was like, oh, listen to what JP's saying. I'm transfixed.
It's
I can't even blink.
It's that Columbus internet, man. Look, Fanstream Sports paid money to get the best internet in town for him in his basement so he could do shows. And now he's the spinning wheel of death right now is what he is to us. This is the best we can get. Look, Johnny's on his way to Columbus today. He will be there later today. He needs to address this with the city because he holds some weight there.
Tell him bring a screwdriver or something. Do something. So what, Tim? You can react to what I just said. He's back.
There he is. And you're frozen again.
He's frozen again.
Are you really back? I know that you are back.
Look at that. That was a great one. Are you back? No, he's frozen again.
Can you hear us? Can you speak? We don't need your picture. We just need your voice.
Just talk.
I can hear. I can.
Oh God. Here we go.
Man, here we go. All right.
Thought Trump was going to fix this.
Give him time. We're not on Starlink.
True.
We'll all be on Starlink soon.
How great is that going to be?
Oh, fantastic! Absolutely. But anyway, don't get me started. Don't get me started. It's been a long week.
It has been a long week.
But I don't know if you listened. I'll save it. I'll save it for the end of the show.
It's not really a fantasy football point either.
No. All right. Speaking of which, I've got some plays to be had this week. As I said, Jamar Chase is just absolutely killing it for me. I got Nico Collins on the bench, just waiting after IR. But I got Terry McLaurin and Jamar Chase. I mean, this is fun. It's been a long time since I'm actually had a team like this. So, but it's fun if you're having one of those. And I, unfortunately, so many players, fantasy football players, have been crushed by injuries this year. I think of them all the main players, but having Saquon Barkley. I should just put this up for everyone to peruse this wonderful team. Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, Cade Otton, who's now become the third ranked tight end in the league. So
Holy
Jamar
crap.
Chase is 2. Saquon Barkley is the number. Yeah. Position rank. Jaden Daniels is 5. Saquon's 1. DeAndre Swift is 9. Jamar Chase is 2. McLaurin is 10. Cade Otton is 3. Yeah. It's been a good year. It's been a good year. So hopefully I can bring it home. And I still lost to Smoltz earlier in the year. One of my 2 losses. So hope he'll be coming back around. Is it this week? Who do I have this week? Maybe. Who knows? But anyway.
Jamar Chase, 11 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns against a not horrible Ravens defense, really.
Well, the Ravens secondary is the worst in the league. It's bad. 31st. Yeah. So
and they got some guys hurt.
Yeah. And he has Derrick Henry, the guy I'm playing this week. He's second in the league. He had Derrick Henry last night, who got 12.5 points. Not great. Not great, but not bad.
Not a Derrick Henry night.
Not a Derrick Henry night. He's
68 yards, 1 touchdown.
He's been phenomenal. So, I do have. Is Tito back yet? No, he's not.
He's right there. Let's see if we can get him.
Hey!
Do you have us, Tito?
He's back.
He's back.
For like 20 seconds, probably. Then I'll get frozen again.
You got to stop using dial-up, man.
This isn't dial-up. This isn't AOL. I've got it.
It's
nothing wrong with AOL, sir. I still have AOL.
Do you have the disc?
I have the 5 1/4 inch disc, sir.
Yeah, that's what I heard about you.
It's very 5 1/4.
Oh my God, this has devolved. No question about it. All right, Tito, give us your fantasy footballs, sit-ems, play-ems, favorites this week. What do you got?
Well, I do like, although I do think Pittsburgh will beat Washington. I think Jaden Daniels still has a good game. I know Tomlin is 25-6 all time against rookie quarterbacks, but Jaden Daniels, he's also a guy who, if you draft, he's going to win leagues for you this year. He has been phenomenal what he's been able to do. Jared Goff for Detroit going against Houston. I don't think he's a must start this week. Goff for a lot of times for me is a must start, not necessarily a must start for me this week. By the way, keep in mind the Browns are off. Not that should affect if it affects your team. Your team sucks. The Packers are off. The Raiders and also Seattle. But Trevor Lawrence not going to play. It looks like I don't know how many games he's going to miss, but he won't be out there. Instead, it'll be the former Patriots quarterback who's in Jacksonville as a backup. So Mac Jones, yeah. So that one, look, Tua Tagovailoa, I know it's a great story. He's back, and I did pick him up and stash him in some leagues as like a number 2 quarterback just in case he does. I'm not expecting huge numbers from him this week either against the Rams. I think they'll end up beating the Dolphins in that game, but I think that's a tough matchup for him as well. Looking at my notes here, I've got excuse me.
Would you start Jaden Daniels or Baker Mayfield? I got to make that choice. I'm going with Jaden Daniels against they're at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they're hosting Pittsburgh, right? Yeah, I'll take Daniels in that game. I think Pittsburgh wins it, but I think Daniels just too. I think he's too versatile and just too. He'll get his points still. And Terry McLaurin's been doing much better with Jaden Daniels under center than he did in previous quarterbacks that have been there in Washington. So I keep doing that. By the way, I love that Washington pickup. By the way, the trade deadline, I thought Washington really knocked it out of the park. They're a dangerous team now going forward.
They are. Yeah, thankfully they're in the rearview mirror for the Bucs with a W.
Yeah, as long as Lattimore can stay healthy. He's already hurt.
Stay healthy, right? Yeah, but he has not a touchdown in single coverage in like 4 years.
Yeah.
So like you could just say go guard their best player, and he'll put him in. I don't want to say Revis Island, but it's kind of like that. He's going to shut down whoever is over there on the other side of the ball. So I like him. You know, I think that's going to be a huge move for. They're going to win the East, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That was my preseason pick. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yep, sure was.
Wow, it's a good pick by you then. Yeah. I was looking at some of the college betting lines for this week.
Yeah, give me some bets. What do you got this weekend for bets?
Well, last week I told you I liked Miami and I liked Ohio State, and they both covered. Miami, it took them a long time to cover, but they did cover eventually, which was amazing for me. I like Miami laying the 11 at Georgia Tech. I think Ohio State beats Purdue 47-3. The Buckeyes, I think the spread's like 38, but Purdue's got the 119th. They're 119th in offense in the country. They're bad. They're not going to. They might get a field goal, but I think Ohio State's backups get in, and those guys want to play and score, and they're going to run the same kind of offense they normally would. I think Ohio State piles it up on them.
That's why we call them Perdon't.
That's a good one.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Have you ever seen the sun shine in West Lafayette, by the way? Like any sporting event I've ever seen at Purdue, it's always dark.
So
even in the arena, even in basketball, the old Mackey Arena, wherever it was, always. When Gene Katie was there, it was always dark in the arena.
Greatest comb over ever, by the way. The Gene Katie
awesome.
comb over. Yeah. That's fantastic comb over ever.
That's a relative term, I think.
Is that oxymoron?
Yeah.
Great comb over.
Comb over.
Indiana, I like them laying 14.5 against Michigan. I think they win by more than 20 in that one. Michigan is so bad. And playing in Bloomington, Indiana's they've beaten Michigan, I think 10 times out of like 67 times they played. I think Indiana, I don't think they've won since 87 against Michigan. I think they won in the COVID year, but that doesn't count. I'm saying like in a regular year, Indiana, I think is only one. They have won since like 1987. I think Indiana covers that game against Michigan.
Is it 14?
14.5 is what I saw. And I take it. Yeah. Yeah. Who would have thought that? But preseason, it probably would have been Michigan laying 14.5, And
I think the Irish are laying 21 to FSU. That's not nearly enough. I think that's a gimme right there.
That's a big one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Virginia
Tech. They'll just hand it off, and they could run for 500 yards against this FSU defense.
It's amazing how bad Florida State is.
It really is. But hey, I made money on it. That's for sure. This past week, I went to the game for the party, not the game. But that's just that stadium has like zero life. I mean, zero life. It's like Hard Rock Stadium when Miami's playing anybody other than Florida State or a ranked opponent. That's nothing. It's just zero. Nothing is going on, and it's depressing, to be quite honest. Mike Norvell has a huge challenge ahead of him, and Florida, like. They got Charleston Southern coming in. They might lose that game, actually. And that's a one-win FBS team or FCS team. And then at the end of the year, they got Florida. And Florida, if Lagway plays, could probably lay 40 or 50 on them on their own field.
Are you surprised they gave that, said Napier's the guy, we're sticking with him?
No, we talked about that for the first half hour of the show. I think I'm not surprised that Strickland did it. I don't think he has a choice, just like Mike Alford doesn't have a choice with Norvell. It's just finances at this point. And I think also with the landscape of college football being so uncertain, I don't think anybody wants to make any dramatic moves right now. Yeah. Just stand pat, see where things go, and then make the move when you have to. So, and can from a financial standpoint. All right, Tito, anything else you want to regale us with your I have to get this in because he's absolutely right. You didn't get to see this, Tito, but Frozen Tito looks like the squirrel from Buc-ee's. I'm like,
okay, it's not a squirrel, it's a beaver, Rick. Okay, at least get the mascots right.
It's not a squirrel. I thought it was a squirrel.
It's a beaver. No,
it's
their
Bucky
mascot
beaver.
is a beaver.
Yeah, it's a
nice beaver.
Nice. Thanks. I just had
stuff.
stuff
Last week.
Right. Oh, he got to see Frozen Tito. That's what it looked like. I love that.
I wish.
It's wonderful for my self-confidence.
Go watch the rerun. You'll see it. It's absolutely
wonderful for my self-confidence. Going into the weekend, that's great.
It's just Rick. Don't put any stock in what he said.
We have a pet squirrel now, so if you want to,
you do.
Yeah, I'll bring him out for the end of the show.
All
right, Tito, tell everybody how they can find your great content, buddy.
Yeah, go find me on Twitter on the X @FitHappens. Also, go check out the fantasydraftproxies.com, and we can help you with your fantasy football teams. And we do a bunch of drafts next year. So if you didn't use us this year, get us again for next year. You can get us next year, and we can do your draft for you and help you out with that as well.
I don't need it. I'm 7-2, baby.
You're good. You're good.
I've never won this league, so I'm like, oh man, this could be a nice payday. Get all my money back that I've lost over the years in one shot. Thank God, maybe. We'll see. All right, buddy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend,
guys. We'll see you.
Happy betting.
Yeah. Bye, Tito.
F you, and F you. Yeah, absolutely. That takes on a whole new meaning now, doesn't it?
It does.
By the way, speaking of that, heart goes out to Kirk Herbstreit, and I mean this.
Yeah.
His doggy passed away, and
like it was everyone's dog, right? After the last couple of months,
it's
all of our dogs.
It's all of our dogs. He was going through chemo and everything, and they did everything to save him. What was his name? Ben.
Yeah, Benny.
Yeah. So
and then he did the show last night, and then he did the game last night on the day he had to put his dog down.
That's right.
He did the game last night.
I don't know if I could have done that.
I could. There's no way.
Did they mention it on the game last night? I wasn't watching the whole thing.
At the very beginning, they made just a little tribute to him. You know,
that picture of him hugging him in the golf cart that he put that was gut wrenching.
Yeah.
Look at my.
I got my dog in the studio here with me today,
laying over. Oh, do you?
Oh, look, come here, Tello. Come here.
Oh yeah, it's dog time. Hey, get up, come show yourself. Laying around.
Yep.
There he is. Oh my God.
Hanging out in the studio with me.
Yeah. Oh,
he's a little confused. He's like, he doesn't like the elevator, we found out.
Oh, really?
He's very confused by the door opening, us walking in, and then being somewhere else.
Oh my God. Yeah, really? Tally is like she is unbothered by anything. I have never put her in any situation where she's freaks out. Like fireworks don't bother her, guns going off don't bother her, because that happens around the house a lot.
Right.
I mean,
neighborhood do you live in?
Nothing. I mean, nothing. But she'll go anywhere, anytime, just snip her way through it. But dogs are awesome, aren't they? Dogs are just the best. We don't deserve dogs.
Definitely good. We don't deserve dogs, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And particularly when you've had a dog as long as I have, Tally, it's like you communicate. Like I can talk to her, and I think she understands exactly what I'm saying to her.
Yep.
You know, and she communicates with me with the little noises that she makes and the eyes and the way she behaves. I know whether she has to go out, whether she's hungry, whether she wants to play, whether and when they can really sense when you're like in simpatico with them, when you're having a bad day or having health issues or something like that, and don't just come up and lay right on you and just and it's a healing property. It's 100% healing property. That's why dogs are so important. And I support dogs, which we've done many fundraisers with the military and their support dogs. It's such a great thing. So anyway, sorry to hear that for Kirk Herbstreit and for all of us that are dog owners. We know it's like losing. It literally is like losing a child. It is. So prayers up to him. All right, quick break. When we come back, you want to talk some lightning, some hockey. We'll get into our NFL and college picks as well. I crushed you 2 weeks ago. I don't know how I did last week.
You did 8-3. Yeah, we'll get into our last week.
All right. So much more. If you guys have anything you want to pop in the Yes, Thomas Casper. I do have an update on the trop for you. I got some information on that last night. So stay tuned for that. We're brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC. These are great folks. They do a lot of different things for your home. So if you need some home repair from the hurricane, AC plumbing, or anything else, they can do it for you. So go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. That's the website. You can contact them through email or call them. Tell them JP sent you. They're fantastic. You can trust them. They'll give you great work at a great price and great timing. thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Back at 3. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you could find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Have you seen this goal in the Stanford Notre Dame soccer game?
No.
You don't ever watch soccer.
No. If I see a soccer highlight come on, I'm just tuning out.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Well, this is unlike anything you've ever seen in your
Oh,
life.
is it the one?
He kicks it from the other side of the midfield.
I did see that on social media. Yeah.
Look at
that not normal? Like, do they not always do that in soccer?
Look at the keeper. The keeper's like, just got his head up against the post. Look at this.
See, if that happened in soccer more, I might watch it because that was kind of exciting.
So, golly, what a boot. Just right over his head.
No way he meant to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Purely
it was like there was only seconds left in the game, so he just took a.
How do you know? How do you know there's only seconds left in the game? Nobody knows how much time is left in a soccer game. Come on. I wish we knew there was only seconds left.
You hate soccer so much.
It doesn't make sense to me as a sport.
All right. Welcome back. Brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. For your concierge medicine needs, you guys have probably figured out by now that your doctor really doesn't give a rat's ass about your health. It's just an insurance scam at this point. If you haven't figured that out. So it's so bad. It's so bad right now. Well, it's going to get better. You literally will get in there and all they can do, most of them, if you're with any of these big companies and, if you're lucky, if you even see the doctor, right, it's going to be a PA and they'll be 15 minutes and they're done. Not at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. It's concierge medicine. So Chris Lugo will spend an inordinate amount of time with you directing your nutrition, your supplements, testosterone, hormone therapy, help you lose weight. More than anything, just keep you healthy. Your immune system built up, because that's really a problem right now. Autoimmune diseases are just wrecking this country. So but there's ways to fight it. And at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they can walk you through it. So if you're one of those folks that have just been really sick lately, especially the last few years, they can help you at Bay Area Modern Medical Centers. Just take somebody to spend time with you and really find out what's going on with you and has the time to do it. So go to their website, BAMMC.com, and find out what we are speaking about. All right, before we get into our picks, I have to touch on this. Thomas Casper says, the Bradenton paper says Ray's responsible for the trop. This is something I heard last night that from some folks that are very knowledgeable in the situation, that the insurance adjusters have been in there for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And what's incredibly apparent right now is the repair is going to be in the probably $100 million range, not 39 was originally reported. And that was, admittedly a guess. That had been an estimate when they did the risk assessment and took their coverage from 100 million to 25. Whoopsie. I wonder if that person still has a job. Whatever staffer came up with that idea. Probably not. Anyway, so it's unfixable. I think they haven't really announced that yet in terms of the money. You can't spend $100 million on a stadium that you're going to blow up in 3 years. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting and fluid situation because the funding for this has not been fully approved. And if Pinellas County votes not to approve the bonds, then the entire deal blows up for the new stadium. And I think if you had a vote right now of constituents in St. Pete and said you can get out of the deal, I think it would pass 80-20 after these 2 hurricanes and the damage that has been done and what needs to be cleaned up. And so who's going to clean it up? Plus, as we have postulated, I heard this from a very reliable source, the insurance payoff money is going to be negligible because of the age of the roof and the fact that it was not repaired. Just like you guys, if you don't keep your roof in repair, you can't get insurance, right? You have to we just had to have our roof certified 6 months ago. And if you don't do it, don't get the repairs made or have a new roof every 15 years, you can't get it insured. And if your roof blows off and you haven't fixed it, you're not getting any money. And guess what? They're not getting any money, or at least not substantial amounts of money. Yeah. So at this point, I think we're going to hear in the next few days that the trop is unfixable in terms of its money. So where do you go now? Now you have to look at these spring training sites. Major League Baseball wants to keep it in Tampa Bay. And, comes the Pinellas County folks at the commission saying, look, Rays, if you don't stay in Clearwater or Dunedin at those minor league parks, we're not going to pass the money. Well, that might be the best thing that ever happened. If they go to Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, they're going to actually, if they can bump that thing up to 15,000, 17,000 seats, which I've been told they can, that's what you averaged last year. I think it was 17,000. You're going to pack the place, make more revenue because it's going to be a tighter ticket, and you're going to create a great atmosphere for baseball in Tampa Bay. Yes, it's going to be hot. Yes, it's going to rain a few times, but suck it up, Buttercup. Your team
better than losing your team, right?
Better than losing your team. And what's really good, Tim? Having sellouts every night. It's really good having an atmosphere where people want to go to it. It's exciting. It's and it's fun. And by the way, in April and May, the weather's beautiful. It's fine. It's wonderful. Now the summer it's going to get hot. But they do it all over. They do it in Atlanta. They do it in St. Louis. They do it in Cincinnati. It's hot everywhere. You just play baseball outside.
Baseball's better outside. I'm telling you right now.
Let me smell that grass. Smell that grass. It's just better. It's what baseball's all about. If you go to a field, I remember the last baseball park I was at was Atlanta, and just walking in and you smell the grass, you see it. It's beautiful. It's like that's what baseball's meant to be. You walk into the Trop, and it's like walking into a Walmart. It's just it's nice. It's 72 degrees. I get that, but it's just that's not baseball vibe, right? So they can create something special over there at Steinbrenner. Like, it's going to be Yankee No, there's no Yankee markings. You put temporary signage up, you make it Rays. You're going to be there for 3 years. It's a lot of good things and fun things you can do instead of spending $75 million to repair the Trop. That's ridiculous. Take a $10 million and put it into Steinbrenner Field and make it your own for 3 years. And the TSA is fine with that. The Yankees are fine with that. Major League Baseball wants that. It would be great for the franchise to relocate to the middle of your freaking market. And listen, if Pinellas County says we're not going to fund these bonds and that stadium goes away, that's the best thing that could ever happen to St. Pete. The best thing that could ever happen to St. Pete. And yes, they will eventually build something in Tampa. Yes, that will happen. Now, it's not going to be all public money like it is in St. Pete. It's not going to be a windfall of public money, but I think at this point you may have a new owner anyway. So I think there's this where the Rays are now looks terrible. They don't have a TV deal. They have the worst offense in baseball. They have a terribly unpopular owner. They've got no place to play. I mean, there's a lot of strikes against this team right now, big time. I mean, it is an 0-2 count, and you're facing Nolan Ryan
in his prime.
In his prime. But there's a way out of this. There's a way out of this, and it's a sane thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and it rights all the wrongs and the stupid stuff that you've done in passing this stadium in a failed location and all this money. And you can actually get out of it. And post these hurricanes, would you not want to? Would you not want to? So anyway, there's an opportunity.
It could be a huge opportunity for the Rays if they play at Steinbrenner. I think it'll kind of maybe bring a little bit of love of the game back to the people in Tampa that haven't been able to go to the games in St. Pete for a long time or haven't wanted to go to the games in St. Pete. You're back to outdoor baseball. It's an intimate, really nice ballpark. I got to drive by there when Johnny and I were out there because we were at Kerr's Wing House right up the street from the stadiums, So I said, hey, let's just drive down here. I want to go look at the ballpark. So we drove down there. I got to check it out a little bit. And, man, I'd go to a game there.
If you go inside of it, they've got this rooftop bar down the first base line that's super cool, really great, awesome, and a whole little patio area out there where you can stand and watch the game. You've got 11,500 permanent seats and very intimate, great sight lines everywhere. In right field, you got a huge tiki bar and Hard Rock cabanas out there that you could definitely upgrade that. You can make so much more premium seating. Down the left field line, you can make even more. They've got 13 luxury boxes already there that are better than the boxes at the Trop. Parking, egress, and everything is better at Steinbrenner than it is at the Trop. It's easier for everybody to get to. This could be a huge win for the Rays and this area in terms of, as you said, reigniting the love of baseball. I mean, if you could get if Stu would sell now, this would be on my wish list. If they sold to a local owner or someone who has been trying to buy this team that may or may not have the connection to the Seminole Indian tribe that I've spoken to personally, who's interested in buying the team. If you sold that to a local or a somewhat local owner who's has interest in building a stadium and has the deep pockets to do so themselves or a majority themselves, imagine and then you play 3 years in Tampa as you're getting ready for that. And I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be the toughest ticket you'll ever find. It just would so much put a charge into this team and this area in terms of baseball. It's a huge win. And even if you try to continue to shoehorn in this terrible stadium idea and this failed location post-hurricane, stretching the finances of St. Pete and Pinellas, who could use that money in such a better way, like nothing about that is positive. Nothing. It's like you're moving forward with an anchor on your back, Yeah. It's just like, trying to swim with an anchor. And it's just, in the other scenario is everybody's rowing in the same direction. Everybody, the fans are on board. Everybody's rowing in the same direction. What a difference. What a difference moving forward. And that opportunity is real. It's real. Oh, JP, the stadium's done. Stop bitching about it. Stop crying about it. So it's done. It's going to happen. Just shut up. If Pinellas County says no, it's not being built.
Yep.
And I mean, my God, should we not all be talking? Said the entire Pinellas County and St. Pete. How, if you're on the Pinellas County Commission, with your beaches the way they are, and by the way, that ain't the last hurricane to come through here. I hate to tell you this.
It might have been 100 years since the last one, but you just had 2.
Yeah. Of course, forget it. It's not going to go there.
I mean, Trump's going to fix it, though. We're good.
Trump's going to no more juiced up hurricanes.
No more juiced up hurricanes in the Gulf. It ain't happening anymore.
Oh, why did they all start down there in the same place? I mean, it's amazing.
Oh.
Anyway, so that is a possibility that could really work out well. But I'm fairly certain they'll F it up. The opportunity. I mean, it's you can get out of it. Like the worst mistake you ever made in your life. If you could go redo it, how glorious would that be? Oh my God.
Do-over. You get a free do-over. Well, it ain't free, but you get a do-over.
Yeah. Can I keep the kids? Can I keep the kids though? Because the kids are awesome. Is there a way I can?
Maybe.
Can I redo that? Can I redo that and keep the kids? Get rid of the other. Anyway, yeah, it would be such a great opportunity, and we'd have so much fun with it for the next 3 years. Playing outdoors, and then we'd look back on it. Hey, remember the 3 years at Steinbrenner Outdoors and the Rays won the World Series? So cool. We'll see. We'll see if they do it. Hey, Rick is up.
I'll go ahead with the comments. Yeah, go ahead.
He agrees with me. Trump will fix the trop and the weather.
See?
Stu's new stadium is a Walmart too. Thomas Casper. The renderings look great though, Thomas, don't they? They don't. There's no imagination in that new stadium. It's the pavilion style. Who wants a pavilion style stadium?
I don't know.
Not me. Rick says Thomas nice, although he would probably turn off the AC to push concession sales.
Make everybody thirsty.
Thomas says Stu has laid out his financial pathway out of St. Pete. You think that, Thomas? You think that he doesn't want to do it? That he's thinking, well,
I mean, he's going to make all the money if he does.
It's two ways to look at that. Like, he also gets out of his new $700 million mortgage.
Yeah.
And, and I have said this, and I think, there was some thought to when the whole deal went down, the stadium deal went down. I asked one of the administrators who read the deal. And I said, is there a way that Stu can keep the real estate and not build the trop or not build a new stadium? And he said, yes, the way these are written, these spending bills are written, there's 11 different bills or agreements, I guess they are. And it was his thought. And this is not set in stone because, it would go to court and a judge would decide and our lawyers would argue. But in reading the contract, he said he thinks there is a way for him to profit off the real estate and never build the stadium. And this would be the perfect scenario if Pinellas refuses the funding to the stadium because that's separate than the whole redevelopment. The stadium is like a separate funding issue. So that could come out of the development deal, and Stu could sell the real estate that he got for $50 million that's probably worth $500 and turn a profit, sell the team, and be out. So I think that's I think that's a possibility. I think that's what Stu's saying, but
insane.
Rick said even God didn't want the stadium in St. Pete. He knocked it down for it. Well, I'm not going to say that's the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Take it away. That's right.
Bucs Rays Bolt said, did you see Bruce Arians defend Todd Bowles? Well, I mean, part of his exit deal with the Glazers was Todd gets the job. So,
yeah.
And he's long been a champion of Todd Bowles and long been a champion of a lot of those ex-coaches. And that's a great quality to have. Loyalty is a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. But in this instance, it's, we love Bruce Arians. We absolutely love him. Of course, he has loyalty to his guys. Would Bruce Arians tell you in his private moment that hiring Bill Belichick would be better than having Todd Bowles? I don't know. I don't want to speak for the man.
Yeah.
But, you could look at the scorecard. So I don't know. I don't want to speak for Bruce, but I would expect him to defend Todd. That's nice. But how do you defend it? Do you think Bruce Arians would have gone for 2?
Is he still employed by the team?
No.
I thought he was a consultant or something at some point.
He was, and I think that contract has passed. He's certainly not around the team, and it doesn't have an office or anything like that.
Yes, I would absolutely say that Bruce Arians and probably 80% maybe of the coaches in the NFL right now would have gone for 2 in that situation. I won't say all of them because there's still some bonehead coaches in the league.
And I believe I heard someone say that, and there was Joe Bucs fan say that 3 teams went for the extra point in that situation last week in the NFL, and all 3 teams lost instead of going for 2. And absolutely going for 2 was the right decision last night. And if they make one of the 3 obvious calls, right, then you're at the 1. You got one play from the 1 where you could slam it in the run game too.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, and I think it works out for Cincinnati, but it didn't.
Those were bad not call. Now look, the hands to the helmet, the so-called roughing the quarterback, that's a BS. I get it. It's by the letter of the law. Yes, that would be a penalty, but it's a ridiculous penalty, and I don't have a problem with them not. I don't have a problem with you not calling that. I don't have a problem with you not calling that in that situation. He hit him in the helmet, in the face mask, and his face mask got it, whatever, dude. He's a freaking football player, okay? Right. You're going to get that. The defensive holding is the one that is inexcusable.
Gesicki, yeah.
That is inexcusable.
Yeah, and so is the play on the ball. Yeah, I think he clearly drags Tanner Hudson down before he has a chance to jump up and catch the ball. I mean, that's prototypical defensive pass interference. He hits him before the ball arrives. That's pass interference. And it materially affected the catch. I think without the contact, he catches that ball because he's jumping for the ball and it's thrown high for a reason.
Yep.
He's 6'7" Tanner Hudson or whatever he is, big, tall dude. And as he jumps, someone jumps on his back. He can't reach up and grab the ball. It was a perfect throw.
That's the same as grabbing an arm and pulling it down. It's
right. It's the same thing. I mean, it's material. You have to make that call. Yeah. Is it a bang, bang call? Yes, but it's without question, it's interference. You got to make that call. And I didn't have any money on the game. But you need to make that 3 penalties on it, 1 play, and it gets ignored. It's bad.
How about Justin Tucker missing an extra point?
What
do they say? 500.
Jake Camarda is going on with him.
536 extra points, and he's missed 3. That was the 3rd one he's ever missed.
See, more scripting by the NFL.
Good Lord. What's happening in Baltimore?
And we'll know, we should have this empirical experiment. We need to have Tay drop Kelsey, write an album, and then start dating. Who could she date? She can move in on Brittany Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
And so we'll do a whole soap opera.
Yeah.
Like Tay moves in, kicks Brittany out, and because she's mad about the election.
Yep.
And he
I like it.
and so now the Chiefs still have Tay. No, so I want her to go to another team, and then we'll see that team win every game.
She needs to date Caleb Williams.
There you go. Chicago, get the Mighty Bears back in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got a woman or whatever, but she can't be as obnoxious as Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any eligible bachelors on the Bucs team? Most of our much of our stars are married, I think.
Bucky? What about Bucky? He's pretty young. He's probably still single.
Yeah, he might still be single. But she's like a foot taller than him. I don't think that works.
Is she really? Is she a tall girl?
Yeah.
I always thought she was like 5'2".
No, I think she's like 5'11".
Oh God. All right.
Taylor?
Yeah. I don't know anything about her.
Yeah. You don't have her card?
I don't have her card. I still think she's a country
superstar country singer card.
I still think she's a country singer. I don't
5'11", 125, I think. I have to check that. I'll check the numbers.
That's too skinny. I've always considered her, ever since she came out when she was a country star or whatever, I just always thought she looked like a 12-year-old boy. She's never been attractive to me.
Well, evidently Tim McGraw liked her.
Gross. What? Why? 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 What does that mean? What did he do? Did he diddle her?
Rumor has it.
While he was with Faith?
Rumor has it.
There's no way I pick her over Faith Hill. Come on.
I mean, I think Ashley left. Ashley. Yeah, she's a TMZ. She's a TMZ encyclopedia.
By the way, Taylor Tim McGraw, I've always said it, the second most talented person in his immediate family.
Well, you go with Tug?
Yeah, Tug's by far more. That's why everybody that always trying to talk to me about Tim McGraw, I'm like, oh, you mean Tug McGraw's kid? They're like, what are you talking? Who's Tug McGraw?
Oh, man. Yeah, Taylor wrote a song about Tim McGraw.
Yes.
It's a great song, too. Love that song. All right, we doing picks?
Yeah, I saw something on I have all of the 72 TVs in the studio on here, and by default, one of them is on First Take, even though I hate that show. But it's just strictly by default. I thought this would be interesting to you. I just saw Stephen A's list because they're broadcasting from Atlanta for some reason. I don't know why they're in Atlanta. They're at Atlanta.
HBCU. Yeah,
they're at Atlanta College or Atlanta University of Atlanta.
Stephen A likes to hang out at those HBCUs.
So Stephen A, who grows on me every day a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't like him, but he's growing on me just because he's full of bits, right?
Yeah.
He gave his top 5 Atlanta pro athletes of all time.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I thought,
oddly enough, none of them have ever won anything.
Right. So, I have some exception with some of these, but here we'll start at number 5.
Number 1 has to be the Hammer, Hank Aaron.
Is that what you think?
Oh,
is that what you
think? Famous Atlanta athletes?
Because that's what I thought too.
The Hammer.
Nope.
Oh, well then it's bad list. Bad list.
Here you go.
What's up?
Here you go. Number 5 with 4 Pro Bowls, Michael Vick. Number 4 with 8-time All-Star,
4
Chipper
Pro
Jones.
Bowls and 17 dead Dobermans. What's this? Too soon? Sorry. Spitting facts.
He's a friend of the show.
Michael Vick? Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, he's moved on from all of that. It's fine. Chipper Jones at number 4 with 8 All-Star.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Chipper Jones.
Number 3, 9-time All-Star in the NBA, Dominique Wilkins.
Yes. Neek, of course.
Number 2, 755 home runs, Hammer and Hank Aaron.
Well, he ain't going to make Matt Ryan number 1, is he?
Number 1 blew me away. And by the way, the great Ilya Kovalchuk is not represented here, the all-time leading scorer of the Atlanta Thrashers.
All right, hold on.
Where's Kovalchuk on this list?
Who are we? So it's got it. It can't be who for the Hawks.
It's an NFLer.
It's an NFLer?
An Atlanta NFLer.
Atlanta NFLer. Older. He didn't go prime, did he?
Deion Sanders.
He
with
went
8 Pro
prime?
Bowls. Yes. Is
Oh
the number
my
one
God.
athlete from
What
Atlanta.
did he ever win in Atlanta? Did they ever have a winning team when he was there?
Dude, I don't know. I saw that. And I mean, obviously, Hank Aaron's number one. I mean, that is a no-brainer number one, Hank Aaron, right?
Prime over Hank Aaron? Come on,
Yes.
dude.
Is that crazy? And he didn't even cite any Braves things that he did, right? It was just based on his 8 Pro Bowls with the Falcons.
He had 8. He was there 8 years?
I think so. Or maybe he was just 8 overall.
I think, I don't think he played in Atlanta for 6 years.
Well, then you can't count all 8 if it wasn't with the Falcons because we're talking about Atlanta athletes, right?
Right.
Oh my Stephen
God.
A.
That you know what that is. That's just pandering.
By the way, Cam Newton's on the show today too, and he thinks it's still Halloween because I don't know what this get up is that he's got on.
Every day.
Ridiculous.
Every day.
It is ridiculous.
I mean, I just can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. Whatever.
No.
He says, look at the way you're dressed, though, JP. I get it.
With your salt life?
Yeah, I'm just salt life in here today, baby. Boy, I could use some beach time. Holy hell.
We need to get you some turf life stuff, though.
Yeah, hey, I'm down with that.
Yeah, we'll get you some turf life.
Yeah, I was right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in Atlanta. 5 years with the Falcons, and you're the number one Atlanta athlete, and you play for the Braves. I get it. That's unique. Come on.
Yeah, that's BS.
But and I know Hank Aaron played in Milwaukee. I get it. But he's synonymous with the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even put Prime in the top 5. He was there for 5 years. What are we doing?
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, come on, Stephen. You're better than that. You're so much better than that.
He just knows so much more about basketball than he does everything else.
Yeah. That's why I was like, is there somebody from the Hawks? Some other person besides
Spud Webb?
Spud was unbelievable.
It's from Dallas.
All right, let's do some picks here. We got a minute left. Let's go.
All right. Last week, JP scored 6 points. Tim scored 6 points.
Oh, okay.
So you are still 1 point ahead. It is 36-35 as we head into this week. First game on the docket, JP.
That's
the
because I went for
Gators. Florida Gators plus 22 at the Texas Shorthorns. T-Sips is what we call them here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
With a 47.5 point total. Since I'm in last place, I'll go first because that's how we do it on our other show.
Okay.
I'm in last place over there too. And we pick against a coin. We pick against a coin, and I'm in last place.
That ought to tell you something about betting, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop all the research. Flip a coin.
You know what? I'm going Gators to cover.
22?
22's a lot, man. And you know what? Quinn Ewers ain't all that.
Well, I don't think it would be smart for DJ Lagway to play, which means Napier will play him. It's my good friend Chuck Melindy said yesterday. Gator fan. I said there's no way he should play him. That'd be dumb. He goes, yeah, that's why he's going to do it. So I would say I'm going to go 22 points is a lot, but I think Florida's been punching above their weight a little bit lately, and now they're on the road. I think this is a little bit of I think they're looking forward to those home games, and I think this might be a little letdown week for them. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points. And Texas needs to impress. I think they need to impress. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points.
All right, and I've got the under 47.5 too.
I'll go under on that. I'll go under.
All right, next game, UCF Knights plus 3 at Arizona State Sun Devils. That wicked Big 12 matchup that we have, that historic Big 12 matchup.
Historic.
Between UCF and Arizona
UCF
State.
goes for the always traditional Arizona sweep.
Yeah, right? Because they beat Arizona, right? With a total
that rivalry, just you got to throw out all the records. You got to throw out all
4
the
time zones apart, right?
You at UCF and Arizona State, mate. It's a slobber.
I mean, I'm covering the Texas Tech Red Raiders who play in Lubbock, which are still the Central Time Zone. They played Washington State in week 2. It was an 11 p.m. our time kickoff.
Yeah.
And I had to stay up till like 3 for the post game. It was ridiculous. Central Florida plus 3. It is Arizona State with a total of 55.5. JP, I've got UCF and I've got the under.
Well, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Arizona State and the over in this one. UCF, it seemed to found a little something, but I think the travel, Arizona State, I like the Sun Devils because we stole a lot of their stuff at FSU way back in the day, their colors and everything. Yeah, the spear. Yep.
The third college game on our docket, it is the Florida State Seminoles. You thought 22 was a lot, JP. How about plus 26?
It's gone to 26
at the no. This is what it was last night when I was pulling.
I don't think the number can be high enough, until it gets to 50. When you can just turn around and hand off the ball, and the Irish run the football, and they got a big and intimidating offensive line. They, FSU cannot score. They literally will not score on this Marcus Freeman defense. 26 ain't enough because they'll score 35, and FSU's not going to score.
Right.
So this is a 38-3 game. So,
oh wow! All right, so you got Notre Dame
laying the points. What's the total?
42.5.
Well, Notre Dame score 42. Yeah, I got to go under. I think it's going to be like 38-3, something like that. Yeah.
All right, I've got Florida State to cover in the under.
Okay. All right.
What do you think of that?
Fair enough. Yep.
It's not a Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame hater. I'm a well-known Notre Dame hater. Marcus
We're
Freeman's
trying to get. It's like at FSU at this point. Let's just go for the draft pick. Let's just get the number one overall pick.
The number one overall NIL.
Hey, Coach, we don't do that here in college.
How about Arch Manning transferring to Florida State? Merry Christmas, JP.
Oh my. Yeah, he would take one look at that offensive line of receivers and go, "No, thank you. No, thank you."
His butt would pucker and he'd turn around and run.
What
away.
quarterback would he like? You? It's so bad you couldn't get DJU to come back.
Yeah,
I mean, who wants to throw to these guys and go behind that line? Are you kidding me?
Our first NFL game, JP, the Miami Dolphins +1 at the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football with a 50-point total. I'm all about the Rams, baby. I'm going LA, and with 50, going under.
Oh, I'm going to go Rams and over. I think this is going to be a score fest. Yeah.
I'm still kind of worried about concussion McConcusherson playing quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 50's a lot. I'll still go.
I'm seeing my brain. I'm thinking it's like a 24-20, 24-17 game. That's where my brain
24. Yeah,
something like that.
All right.
The Philadelphia Eagles -7.5 at the Dallas Cowgirls. With no Dak Prescott, we got Cooper Rush, maybe a little bit of Trey Lance thrown in there in some goal line situations or third and short situations. That's what I'm hearing.
Everybody's
trying to win games. Still trying to win games.
This is one of those where everybody's going to be on the Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys are just so beat up, so everything. So, where is this game?
It's in Dallas. I'm sorry, Arlington.
I'm gonna do something crazy here. I'm gonna take the Cowboys in the 7.5.
Wow.
What's the total? Yeah, I'm gonna take
43.5.
43.5. I'll go over. And the Cowboys in a little bit of an old Texas shootout now.
All right. Well, I'm going Philly in the over on that one.
Yeah, that's just the type of game where everybody writes off the Cowboys and Cooper Rush comes off the bench and says Dak who?
He's beaten Philadelphia twice and he's only started 6 games. 2 of them have been against Philly and he's won both.
That's right. And Philly's won what? 4 in a row.
Those were and both of those games that he beat Philly were in Philly. Oddly enough,
and I'd probably say 80% of the public money is on Philly this week.
It has to be, yeah.
Cowboys.
And finally, JP,
the hook is the thing.
The San Francisco Brock Purdy's -6 against the Tampa Bay Bill Belichick's with a 50.5 point.
Tampa Bay Bill Belichick's. Look, this is and again, I think the public's going to be all over San Francisco in this one, and there's something about Baker Mayfield. I hate to even bet on Todd Bowles, but it's 6.5, right?
6.
6. Okay.
50.5 is the total.
I like the over for sure. And I'm going to say the Bucs are going to keep this within 6 points. I'm going to take the Bucs. I don't think they win it, but I think they keep it within 6, and it's an over. It's a bit of a shootout.
That's exactly what I had. I had Tampa Bay in the over on it. So
yeah,
we like that. We like that. So everybody pay attention. All the college, all the NFL this week, Saturday, and so really tonight. I guess we got some college starting tonight. All the big games Saturday. Florida is at 1 Eastern. UCF is at 8 o'clock Eastern Saturday night, and then the Florida State game is 7:30 Saturday night.
Yeah,
lots of good stuff for football.
So many of my friends are posting their stories from Chicago, like paid for these tickets 6 months ago to go to the Notre Dame FSU Notre Dame game, couldn't get a refund. We're it's like,
oh no,
yeah.
Everybody wants refunds, right?
Have fun pissing in the trough at Notre Dame Stadium. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you all as always. Our thanks to Jeff Didoff today, who joined us for some of the time that he could. A special thanks to all of our sponsors, the Jeeves Law Group, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Italiano Insurance, the Golden Diamond Source, the Geddes Gordon Group for all your real estate needs, Extravaganza Productions, Third Generation Plumbing, and of course, Cafe Paradiso. You can get the Pranzino. Have a great weekend, everybody. Love you. And folks, just remember, it's not the end of the world. If your man or woman lost the election, it's not the end of the world. And in 6 months, you'll thank all of us. So when you go to the gas station, have a great day, everybody.